All right, let me cut across to a good look at what Bihar's sentiment really is. The poll of polls data is out. And before that, I'd like to take you through some big breaking news. I have with me our guests also joining us, but some big breaking coming in. Bihar has made history at the ballot box. The just concluded Bihar Legislative Assembly elections has witnessed a record-breaking voter turnout of 66.9%, which is the highest in the state since its first election back in 1951. What's even more remarkable is the participation of women voters. Female turnout reached an unprecedented number of 71.6%, outpacing male voters who recorded 62.8%. Battle for Bihar now just got a lot more intense, with data now coming to show that the numbers are overwhelming. Well, it's very interesting to see that this time people in Bihar had a clear mood to come out and cast their vote. All that SIR drive that happened, it appears clearly that the people were more upbeat when it came to casting their franchise. It seems like the SIR drive mostly has pushed people to come out and cast their vote, take their franchise seriously. Sir K.V. Prasad, thanks very much for joining me right here. Your quick take on what we see as the voter turnout here.
Well, it's very
record-breaking.
Yeah, very encouraging the fact that such a high number have turned out, especially the women voters have come out with numbers. And obviously, there could be a minor correction or some correction in the final voting figure when things fall in place. But as you mentioned, the fact is people of Bihar had very strong reason to come out and vote. As you also pointed out, the fact that after SIR they realized the value of vote. They realized that, people are very serious. They understood what a vote means to them. And obviously, they also are looking for their own future. People speak through the ballot and speak for their own future. So, they elect a person who they repose faith in, hoping that that person and the party to which they vote for go on to form the government.
Okay. So, as much as the excitement now is finally over, they've cast their franchise, let me take our viewers through the poll of poll data. Now, the pollsters are calling it quite a storming return to power for the NDA, the BJP-led NDA, while the Mahagathbandhan clearly trailing behind. As for the new entrant, Prashant Kishore's outfit seems to have missed the mark, failing to leave a mark in its debut outing. Quick look, the JVC exit polls. That predicts 135 to 150 seats for the NDA, while Mahagathbandhan is seen bagging 88 to 103 seats. Others are likely to get 3 to 7. And then we have the Dainik Bhaskar exit poll data, and that shows the NDA could sweep 145 to 160 seats. The Mahagathbandhan is seen at 73 to 91 seats and others at 5 to 10. This is Dainik Bhaskar. Now, Matriz, another pollster that forecasts, again, NDA between 147 to 167 seats and Mahagathbandhan at 70 to 90 seats. People's Pulse, another data, gives the NDA a clear edge, 133 to 159 seats. The Mahagathbandhan, 75 to 101 seats, and others 2 to 13. People's Insights, People Insights Projects, that's another pollster that's given NDA 133 to 148 seats, and the Mahagathbandhan about 87 to 102 seats. Then poll of poll data, as you see on the whole, clearly, very clearly, with beyond a doubt here, puts the NDA in a comfortable position with roughly an average of 148 seats, while an average for the Mahagathbandhan stands at 88 and an average for the other parties there stands at 5. Prashant Kishore's outfit trails with just 2 projected seats. The magic number is 122 in the 243 member assembly in Bihar. All eyes now on November 14th when the real verdict is finally out. Who really wins Bihar? A clear edge. Ms. Smita, thanks very much for joining us. Why don't you give us your take on the Mahagathbandhan trailing? It was their best chance. The previous election in 2020, they nearly made it, barely 15 seats that they lost out on. One would have imagined that they would have put all their might and effort on the ground to ensure a victory here, but it's looking like a large gap. Nothing close. How far could this be from reality?
Yes, but you see, you are right. First of all, I must say that no matter who wins or loses on the 14th of November, the voters of Bihar, the women of Bihar have already won. It's a victory for democracy. It's a victory for the electoral system, and it's also a stamping of approval for the SIR, which has proved that people are more robust in exercising their franchise. Coming to the exit poll numbers, you've already told us the average, so I'm not going to repeat that. So probably the MGB, the Mahagathbandhan will stay somewhere between 80 to 100. And the NDA, if we go by the upper side, it's very high, but I would rather, being a conservative journalist, I would rather peg it little lower, but still a very comfortable, happy majority.
Win,
Now when you come to the last, you were comparing with the, very little difference in 2020.
Yeah.
Please remember, yes, it was just a difference of 15 seats, and in vote share, less than 0.5%.
Yeah.
It was about 0.03%. But then we must not forget the fact that in that election of 2020, the Lok Jan Shakti Party, Chirag Paswan's party was fighting separately. Upendra Kushwaha was fighting separately, having made an alliance with Mr. Owaisi and one or two very small, very negligible players. So it was more fragmented, okay? Now this time there is a new player, PK. But when you look at the two alliances, the reason why the NDA seems to be surging ahead as per these polls is because that time Paswan's party made a very big dent into the JDU's kitty, their vote share, and even Mr. Kushwaha's party, who didn't do well in terms of numbers, had made a had damaged them in the Kushwaha votes. So we have to factor all that before we.
So what you're basically suggesting here is that the BJP NDA this time seemed a lot more united than ever.
Yes, I am saying that their caste umbrella was stronger. They gave a face of unity and they stuck together. I want to add a word on the Mahagathbandhan also. I think Tejasvi Yadav has worked very hard. I think his tickets, etc., were also wisely done. I think it is just like the allies are, helping the overall picture in the NDA. For Mr. Tejasvi Yadav, it is the allies who are pulling him down. I think the Congress is not going to do well at all. And Mukesh Sahni, who grabbed some of the biggest headlines in this election, is actually not getting even his own community, the Malla votes properly. He is only getting a chunk of the Malla votes. And the others like Nishads and Ghatwar and Kevats and all, he is not getting. So it is Mr. Tejasvi Yadav's allies who will pull down the Mahagathbandhan in the final picture.
Okay, so united NDA versus the Mahagathbandhan. We thought this time the India Bloc alliance will be stronger. They'll work harder on the ground. We saw Rahul Gandhi personally, doing all the stunts and antics possible, jumping into water, getting dirty and mucky with the people of Bihar, really hoping to have picked the numbers for them. But it's happened.
Not translating into votes.
Yes.
It was lot of very good optics.
Yeah.
If I may just come
Mr. Prasad, I was just coming to you on that. It hasn't really worked, but of course, I'd like to repeat again, we're not calling the elections. This is only poll of polls. The real picture could be very different or could be very close to this.
See, the one aspect of Mahagathbandhan we should remember is also that they had the left, and in particular CPI ML had performed creditably well in the last time, and that's why they wanted greater. So I'm not going to push off MGP as entirely as a bloc pulling down the Tejasvi. I mean, because there is a left contribution which is now part of the Mahagathbandhan kitty. So that is something I'll like to watch when the results come out.
So tell us a little more. What do you think has not worked for the Mahagathbandhan?
No, clearly, see, the Congress, right from beginning, people understood that Congress was not quite there, despite whatever they had to. And in fact, that is what led to the delay in the sheet sharing, because most allies felt the Congress was seeking more than, they were biting more than it could chew. That was one aspect that was delayed the whole thing. The left, in particular CPI ML, wanted a greater share. Of course, they got some amount more than what they wanted, less than what they wanted. But so these are aspects on which they felt, and probably some analysts have commented that Mr. probably Sahni's VIP punched above its weight. So we'll have to see when the results come out. When the data is actually out, whether all
what
these
happened to
calculations.
Prashant Kishore's party? There were such hopes, and he's really been the mastermind behind TMC winning West Bengal, behind Aam Aadmi Party in Delhi at one point, behind BJP as well in 2014.
It's like different being a director. When you're directing somebody else, you have the big picture in mind, but when you actually get into the fray, things are different.
Okay, so you're saying, I mean, as we see here, clearly he wasn't able to make a dent, Ms. Smita?
I will just say, all the voters in Bihar I spoke to, particularly the youngsters, they really liked what Prashant Kishore was saying.
Yeah.
They were excited by his issues. They also felt a sort of, affinity with him. But what they were saying, particularly the men folk, was that he is not the guy for this election. Because Bihar voters are very astute, they are very smart. They will not waste their vote, voting for someone who is neither here nor there, and in the process, allow for a government which they wouldn't want. So they were saying,
but neither here nor
they are
there
ready
is-
to give him time actually. They didn't see him as a force for this election.
Okay.
So I think
They
Jan
like
Suraj
his
is
ideas.
a work in progress.
Yeah, they like his ideas, but
They
they're
liked
not
what
able
he
to
said.
resonate. As at least they
Yeah.
they don't want a fractured mandate. Mr. Prasad,
Correct.
it's very difficult to have a fractured mandate because then the people suffer. And now the voters are very decisive, discerning.
Voters are discerning, voters are smart, they know where to put their ballot in. That's one thing. And I think what Smita was saying, I also feel that Prashant Kishore, if he has the staying power, will have to rework. But one thing he has certainly injected into Bihar polity is he has put issues on the front burner, which successive governments will find it difficult to take it off. The
So
heat
you
will be on
believe
them.
that Nitish is going to be the chief
Well,
minister?
I don't know. I will wait for the numbers to show up
Yeah.
for the JDU and BJP, because that will going to determine not what happens pre-poll.
So what I understand is people are not worried or bothered about who the CM face will be. They're worried about which umbrella comes to power.
No, I think Nitish has the edge as a CM candidate, as a CM face. That's what they said. They went to him, but he definitely pulls. But we'll have to wait when the numbers show up on the board.
Yeah, I mean, that's, of course, I have no other choice but to wait, Ms. Smita.
No, I am fairly certain if the NDA comes to power, Mr. Nitish Kumar will be sworn in as Chief Minister, because this is a vote for JDU, BJP certainly and their allies, but it is also Nitish's vote, you see. It is also a Nitish Kumar mandate.
So Nitish Kumar
I'm
now,
fairly
going
certain.
by the polls, Nitish Kumar and the BJP are in power for how long at a stretch there in Bihar? 20 years?
Yes, 4 terms. 4 terms.
4 terms.
No, with 2 breaks.
With 2 snatches of
2
break.
years each when the BJP had JDU had broken away from BJP and are tied up with RJD. So we had 2 snatches in between.
Briefly.
So there were, once was 17 months and once was about 6 to 7 months.
Whatever.
Okay, so short breaks but largely 22 years.
20 years.
20 years. 20 years of being in power, and Bihar seems to be still wanting the
Mr.
NDA
Nitish
back.
Kumar too had a small break when he put Mr. Jitan Ram Manjhi as the Chief Minister.
So somehow the
therefore,
NDA has
if they
managed to
win,
come back to
it's
power
a-
every
it's a
time.
history.
Yeah, it's absolutely historic if the
for-
NDA
after
comes to
4
power.
terms.
This is the longest spell, something like what we saw in Madhya Pradesh. Though it's been with breaks and with a little, some hitches and glitches in the middle, but largely it seems like the NDA has managed to stay in power, and they seem to be for the next 5 years. We're going to wait for the real numbers. Watch News 9 on November 14th. We'll be right here spelling you out the election results. Thanks very much, our panelists, for joining us. All right, have a great night. Thank you.